Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 6th of October 2021, and the time now is 6:16 a.m. Well, today is our biweekly review, and the topic I would like to talk about is firstly about the yesterday topic, which is the tarot, and then for this topic, I will also link it to some previous topic, for example, Stockdale paradox. And then, yeah, I would like to make something like a conclusion, a clearer mind, and a clearer opinion of mine. And then after that, my second topic that I would like to talk about is what time do you usually wake up? Yeah, so these are the two topics I would like to make a review of. So how about you?
I only have one,
Mm.
which is meaningful code.
Oh, yeah, the meaningful code. Okay. All right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Okay, so uh yeah, so do you want to start first?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
okay. And one one additional meaningful code I want to in uh is like this code. The opposite of crazy is still crazy, unquote. Yeah.
Oh,
And this is also one of this is also the code that I read from a book, which is quite familiar book, No More Miss Nice Guy. Yeah.
mm,
And it actually I mean uh what is the origin of this code? Why
yeah.
this code uh the author uh tried to use? Yeah. And the scenario is like this because the Mr. Nice Guys and they'll try to please the woman. Yeah. They try hard to please the woman and try
Yeah.
not to get mad uh of them.
Mm,
So they'll listen to them and they'll do whatever uh she she tell them to do. Yeah.
yeah.
And so this is a crazy. Yeah, because it actually means that you lose the oneself, which is you lose yourself. Yeah.
Mm,
And some are some Mr. Nice Guy after they realize that they go to another opposite. They just focus on themselves. They don't listen to other people. And they try to ignore the woman. Yeah. And this is also another crazy. So the
mm,
opposite of crazy is still crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
And also Mr. Nice Guy, the nice one is doesn't mean that it is good or bad. And
Mm,
also bad guy. Yeah, the nice guy, the opposite of nice guy is bad guy.
mm,
Yeah. So we also don't want to become the bad guys. Yeah.
mm,
Just because nice guy have their own weakness. Mm,
mm,
yeah. So the author used the term nice guy to describe this group of people is not because they want them to become the bad guys.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is just a term to describe a group of people. Yeah.
Mm,
And the author don't want us to go to the opposites. Yeah. And the women don't like nice guys is because nice guys don't have their opinions. Yeah.
mm, yeah.
And it seems like so weird. Uh the nice guy he lose himself and keep listen to me, keep listen to the girl and keep do whatever she told her to do. Yeah. And try to get the approval. Mm.
Yeah.
And and women don't like this. Yeah. And they want a leader who can lead her life. And they also want a person who really know what he wants in his life. Yeah, so she will she will she will form a relationship with this kind of man, and it's not for the Mr. Nice Guy who don't have the pennies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there are a lot of nice guys in the society, and women don't want to choose them. So when the woman see one quote unquote the bad guys, yeah, so she kind of be impressed. Yeah, wow, I I finally see one guy is quite different from all these nice guys. So the woman would choose those bad guys rather than choose a nice guy. But it doesn't mean that the woman like the bad guy. Yeah, just because of personality on the bad guy impress her. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the author use this quote to explain something. But I kind of think, yeah, is this quote can also apply in other area. Yeah. For example, the opposite of crazy is still crazy, and the crazy is kind of like similar to the extreme. Yeah. Can it apply to our can it apply to our real life in other aspect? For example, you pursue something, yeah, which is you already go to quite a extreme, and is it good or bad? And how about the opposite one? The opposite is also is this also good, or is this also bad, or it actually can be good one? Yeah. And it also linked to another quote, which is the opposite of the opposite of good idea could be a good idea also. Yeah, these two quotes is uh is kind of like in conflict, but to me it may not be conflict. There's a big problem we need to understand, which is something something which is you totally are in the wrong directions. So no matter how you adjust your steering, you go to okay, let's say for example, your destination is is the is a node. Let's say your destination is a node. Okay. And but your that means the direction of your destination is in the node. And but you are you are too far from your destination, and the distance is like you are the totally you are the totally different point in the earth. Okay. Yeah. So in this case, you choose whether you go to the north direction, or you choose whether you go to the south directions. You eventually you will reach your destination. Yeah. And the time and the distance is kind of like similar. Yeah. If we ignore like you need to take the sea, you need to take all that. Just assume you need to take the plant, and there's no the airflow can prevent your journey. So assume like this is just an example, and this is a this is a this is a example to to explain the opposite of good idea could be also a good idea, because even though you go opposite directions, but it still can achieve uh your target, your goal.
Yeah.
You also can reach the destination.
Yeah.
But how about you go to the west, or you go to the east? Yeah. No matter you go east or no matter you go west. Yeah. and you won't reach your destination. You are on because you are on the wrong directions. Yeah. So the opposite of crazy is still crazy.
Yeah.
So it's something like that. Yeah. And but it actually linked to a bigger question, bigger problem. In which aspect we need to apply the middle course, which is you want to stay in the middle. In Chinese we call 中庸. Yeah. And in what aspect, in what area we actually need to try to pursue, maybe not totally extreme, maybe not fully extreme, but a little bit extreme, so we can get something that we want. Yeah. So this is something that I'm thinking on, and also I would like to ask you the question. Not sure whether you have some opinion on that.
Yeah. Yep. So you add in so you add in a new code and then also leave a question to us, right? Yeah. For this one, yeah. Just now you compare, the opposite of good can also be good, and the second code, which is the today's news one, which is the opposite of crazy, can still be crazy. Yeah, I think also just now when you talk about the opposite of crazy is still crazy, the word in my mind is extreme, and then you also mentioned this word extreme. So I think for things that like you said, what things we need uh, to find something like the middle, not go too far, and then for something we may try a little bit to the extreme. So I think for things that we may try to extreme, uh, more or less we will sacrifice something. Yeah, but it also it is our choice if we did consider about that. If we also want to choose it, then I think that will be okay for things that go a little bit to the extreme. And then yeah, but the key is need to be aware of the things that we sacrifice. Yeah, and if we are okay with that, yeah, I don't think it's a big problem. And for what things that will um, suit into these two quotes, I think yeah, I currently I think I still haven't have a a good opinion on that. And then but to me I think they are kind of case by case. Uh, um, Maybe we can say if we want to apply these two quotes on all the things in our life, I will think they will have some conflict. Yeah, but we don't have to apply on all the things in our life, and I think they are there's something uh, case by case. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you give some example?
Okay. Uh. Um. Okay. For example, of one going to extreme isn't that good. For example, if someone take drugs, yeah, that is not a good thing. But at the opposite extreme, if someone didn't take drugs, he hate drugs. He also hate uh, all those drugs. For example, tobacco, smokers. They hate all those things and people. Then I think yeah, that isn't so good, right? Because there's still many good guys who are smokers. Yeah, and there are still many opportunity dealing with those smokers. Uh, we don't have uh, to judge people based on whether they are smokers. Yeah, so I think for this one, smokers, they don't always smoke. They don't smoke every single seconds and minutes dealing with us. So I think for that one, we also shouldn't go too extreme to the part that we hate them. We want to stay away from all the smokers, from all the people who smoke, something like that. So so for this example, it is not. I think it is something. Uh, which one? It is the opposite of crazy is still crazy. And for this example is I think it's like this. And uh, for the other one, which is the opposite of good idea, can also be good idea. For this one, actually, uh, I forgot a little uh, for this one. Yeah, and at the moment, I think I couldn't give one example for this.
2 days ago, you share us one of your decision. I think yesterday about in the tarot, you say you want to uh, spend lesser time on the tuition center,
Yeah.
and you will spend more time on finding and finding the individual students. Yeah,
Yeah, home
because
tuition.
of the because of the profit sharing reduce, the rental cost increase. So
Mm,
you think uh you better spend more time
yeah.
focusing on the individual
Yeah.
to earn money to in order to earn more money. Yeah.
Mm.
Um. Yeah. So can it? Do you think this is uh yeah? Do you think is it suitable for the opposite? The opposite of good is still good, or the opposite of crazy is still crazy?
Oh, yeah, I think this can be the one that the opposite of good could somehow be good. Because actually for me, if I choose, I have made this decision, and I actually can save some time. And after I found some home tuition, which is nearer to my home, for example, I can find student in Mount Austin in Tamangaya, which I will spend less time in traveling. And then yeah, that's something good for me. And then in that case, uh, I will also have more time to do other things. Yeah, so I also um, not not fully how to say uh, not fully locked in the tuition center. I don't have to spend all my time in that area. And also I have more free time. Maybe I can try more ways, for example, going online instead of spending most of my time in the tuition center. So I think firstly it could be bad because maybe I will lose some income opportunity income. uh, and then but on the other hand, I get some time. I have uh, the opportunity to do other things. So that could be the other way, I think.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, because in my mind, if I spend too much time in the tuition center, and then if I teach many classes, so I will somehow get locked in the tuition center. I wouldn't have time, and I maybe at that time I also find it hard to give up, because I already have some students, and all my focus is in the tuition center. So maybe at that time I will find hard to pull myself out from the center. So for now I make this decision. I think yeah, maybe it is not a totally a bad thing.
Yeah. But yeah. I remember last time you told me that if you have too many individual students, and you need to prepare the material, the syllabus for each of them, because their progress is different.
Yeah.
And also sometimes their course, their subject is also different. For example, like primary one, primary two, even though it is the same subject,
Yeah.
mathematics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can have it can have more than hundreds or more than 200 uh, uh, variation. For example, if you only teach the primary from primary 1 to primary 6, so there's six years, 6 years for the for same subject, and
Yeah.
if you have like 7 subjects, so yeah, this is a variety. So there are many variety, yeah, and also we didn't consider about the progress.
Yep.
Yeah, so in this case, is it really can help you save time? I'm not sure. Yeah, and
Yeah.
but I want to but I want to link it to our today topic. Do you think it is do you think it will more suitable to fit into the opposite of good is still good, or the opposite of crazy is still crazy? Teaching too
Yeah.
many subjects and you need to track too many progress versus teaching only one subject, only one variety.
Teaching only one variety. Actually, only one subject. It's not a bad thing. It can be a strength, especially for teacher.
Yeah, but how many specialized English teacher in your area? Is it a lot? How about in future? If you
Yeah.
consider about so-called Peter five a Porter 5 force or something like that. I forgot the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the substitutions online from other country?
Yeah.
Maybe China. And and as you know, we have so many free course. And how about from the school, from the government? And because government now also have some free online course.
Yeah.
And also yeah, so this is about the substitution. How about reverb? Is can the teacher think it will be more easier, it can earn more money, it can make more money, so they join into this specialized English subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how about maybe the customer, maybe the parents want the teacher teach their students for all subject.
Yeah.
And or maybe if they if they willing accept if they are willing accept their student teach by many teacher for each subject, why not they send their children go to the tuition center?
Yeah.
And also about maybe some other strengths of the teacher who teach many subjects could be they can guide the students, the children do some homework. Yeah, so it is not just a specialized teaching the English, they can do overall. So it's the idea is quite similar to the daycare center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also not sure the answer. Yeah, but for me, I think it's more suitable to say the opposite of crazy is still crazy.
Yep. Yeah. And then yeah, actually for this, right now I think yeah, I'm teaching quite a lot and I spend quite a lot of time. And for the decision I make, which start actually from next year. I think maybe for the first maybe for next year, I will have more time, and then yeah, that is the time I need to make a decision whether to spend all those time on the competition and or to actually kind of leave some times for myself in self-development. Yeah, because I think even though self-development can be done, should be done in our off-work time, and then, but I think yeah, if I can adjust some of my work time, kind of reduce it a little, and then I'll have more time doing that. I'll have more energy on self-development, and then I think that is a thing that I think is important. Why? Because now I switch my focus from out from the tuition center, and I think I need to improve myself so that I can have the opportunities uh, to target the market. I mean, right now I teach only until secondary school, which is the Form 6 students in Malaysia. Yeah, and yeah, I think maybe through this some a portion of my time assigned in self-development, and maybe over the years, I can teach maybe, let's say, after graduation and before college, or even after college, those adult students. Yeah, and
Uh,
at that time, maybe uh, my my opportunity is wider. So I haven't have a clear goal for that, but I think at least I have more opportunity.
you talk about the English subject, right?
Yeah,
Teach the adults the English. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. But in my opinions, okay. If you are an adult, will you go to like the center, the English teaching center, to to study those English as an adult?
As an adult, not likely because we are quite busy.
Yeah. This is the first reason, and the second is the cost is actually quite costly.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, and just these two reasons enough, and it actually stopped many adults to go to those English center to learn the English. Yeah. And English is not something like the skill that after you learn, and then it can get you a good career, it can get you a good job.
Mm,
Yeah. So people may prefer to learn like the programming, may prefer to learn like accounting,
mm,
finance, yeah, or marketing, yeah, or even psychology. Yeah, they'll prefer to learn those hard skill
mm.
or data analysis. Yeah. So uh, yeah, and you want to ask you a questions. Do you think in Johor in future, is English becomes more important or English become less important in the
Uh,
foreseeable future?
in Johor Bahru.
Yeah. And also you need to know that whether you have whether you have the thought that will go to another country or go to another state to teach. Yeah, you can say you may teach online, but
Mm,
online have its own different markets. Yeah, and uh, you may try uh, your own way to teach. So uh, and the teaching method could be very different from the uh, from the from the home tuitions or from the teaching offline. Yeah,
yep.
because maybe you need to offer some free course. You need to think. You need to like combine psychology, combine some marketing. If you want to do it by your own, and also you need to try to grab the attention from other people, and also because normally if you sell your course, you will say like, for example, the first 7 day you can like return, I will refund you the money. And for example, you keep the course, you still keep all the course, and I will refund you money if you don't like my my teaching, something like that. You also need to give something like so-called the money guarantees. Yeah, of course we know. Many people after they choose, they won't like really do the refund, even though they didn't watch the video. Yeah, but there is many this kind of thing you need to deal with. And how about when your teaching is really quite boring and cannot grab other people's attention, they really will make a refund. And they keep the video, they keep the course. And how about they share the course to other people? Yeah. So there are new problems. There are new problems if you decide go to online. But now we talk about the offline first. Yeah. So you want to improve yourself. Is it good? But what is the directions? Yeah. And also, I'm not sure what's your decision. Are you really decide to leave the tuition center, or you just spend lesser time on the tuition center? Yeah. And from the finance perspective, I would just look at how much your time is spent on there, how much money you earn from there. So I look at the portions. For example, if you spend 80% of time on there and you earn 80% of income from there, so it's a balance. Yeah. And and also, how about if you spend, let's say if you spend 60% of time on the tuition center, but you only earn 40% of income. I mean 40% of your 40% of your income is earned from the tuition center. So it seems like imbalance, right? But how about if you think about the opportunity cost? If you want to go for home tuition, how many time you need to earn the 40% of your income? Yeah, it may cost you more time. It may cost you more energy. Yeah, so this is sending from a finance perspective. Yeah. So they actually they actually have much more thing need to consider, in my opinion. Yeah, I have finished my talking.
All right. Okay. So I think my topic today, firstly, is about. I talk about the topic about what time do you usually wake up first, because this is, I think, shorter. Yeah, I just want to share something I read on the book. Currently I am reading a book which is called the Willpower Instinct. And then for this book, I found that it is quite interesting after reading Atomic Habits, and then only then I read the book Willpower Instinct, because
what's the last word?
Instinct. Yeah. In Chinese, this book called 自控力.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then because I found that these two books, they are quite different. For this book, I haven't read I haven't read until half. I mean the Willpower book, but I found that they focus more on willpower. They kind of make us understand the feature of willpower, and then what can we do to deal with willpower instead of focusing on other things like in Atomic Habits. They kind of assume that our willpower is is limited, and we don't have to deal much with our willpower. We don't have to try something to improve our willpower. Instead, we try actually on other ways in forming habits, so we don't have to consume our willpower. Yeah, and then today I want to talk about willpower and how it affects if we are a person, an early person. I mean, get up early. So if we get up early, and then I think we will also go to bed earlier. So our whole day schedule will kind of uh, uh, being uh, being pulled to the earlier start time, and also an earlier bedtime. So in this case, the free time of us actually changed from the night to the morning. So I think this could be one of the advantage of the people who actually get up early, because in the morning they actually have uh, they haven't used much willpower. So in that case, they can actually focus more on the things if they think it is important to do. For example, some people may want to form some habits, maybe uh, go jogging in the morning. Yeah, in this case, go jogging may take some willpower to do it. Yeah, even though we can say we can use some some techniques to form a habit of jogging, but in the morning, comparing doing in the morning and doing at night, uh, or doing in the evening, doing in the morning could be easier because we have more willpower, and in that case, if we can apply some habit techniques and also apply some of our willpower in the morning, I think this is something that we can do better instead compared to do it at night. And not only jogging, we can also have other things, for example, reading or some other things you think is important in life. Do it in the morning could somehow be easier. Yeah, this is standing from the willpower perspective. Yeah, because in the book it says that if you try to resist something, actually you are using a willpower. For example, if you saw a dessert in front of you, if you go to a shop, maybe you want to buy some bread for your tomorrow breakfast. But when you saw cakes, you saw desserts in front of you, when you saw maybe the very very delicious beverages, but you kind of tell yourself, I don't want to buy this. This is not healthy. But at that moment, you actually uh, consume some of your willpower. And what's the result of consuming willpower? It is something like if you keep consuming your willpower, and then maybe in that day you couldn't resist to something, which maybe, for example, not only resist, it can be something that you want to do, and it can also be something you don't want to do. Both of them will require you to use your willpower. So in that case, maybe you saw many many things in the day. For example, you saw cakes, you saw beverages, and then you also maybe saw some advertisement of some beautiful products that you tell yourself you don't want to spend money on those on 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 too many things in buying things. So you actually consume many of your willpower. Maybe when it goes to the night, you want to do something because you want to do something sometimes require your willpower. So in that case, doing something, for example, you want to exercise uh, every other day, then maybe doing exercise in the evening will be harder for you because you already spend your willpower in the day. And also this willpower will somehow um, send a signal to your brain to tell you that you are tired. So even though you may say that, oh, I'm not affected by this, but actually you feel tired because of your willpower consuming. So maybe in the evening, go jogging will be more difficult comparing to do it in the morning. Yeah, so this is the topic of what time do you usually wake up?
Yeah, I think this is why shaping and forming your identity is so important. And without it, your habit cannot be sustained in long term, no matter how much willpower you have,
Yep.
because you eventually will spend all of that. And if you keep focused about on doing things, and you are using goal-based approach. Yeah, and yeah, try to ask you questions.
Mm.
Will you have a thought which you are resisting the smoke, the cigarette when you see somebody smoking? Will you
Uh,
have will you have the thought to resist the drug when you see other people are taking heroin?
for me, I don't because
Yeah,
I
because
don't. Mm,
you are you are not the type of person. You are not a smoker. You
mm,
are not the person who take the drug. Yeah,
yeah.
so you won't get resist from those things.
Mm,
Yeah, and would you spend your willpower on that, on receiving something?
uh,
I
no
won't
on
say
smoking.
I won't say zero, maybe little. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's near to zero.
Mm,
Yeah, compared to other things. And how about for people who want to uh cut weight, who really want to cut weight, and he may initially I mean he or she like the cake, like the dessert, and
mm,
so he need to spend the willpower, the controlling ability to resist the dessert. But how about for me, and also maybe for you? Would
mm.
you would you do you really like to eat cake, or do you really like to eat dessert? For me, I don't. So uh, yeah, I will say I will spend maybe zero or little willpower uh on resisting the dessert.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, so this is the case. Yeah, whether you want to choose to use the willpower to do all your thing, or you want to try to form a habit.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. 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 But actually, we can use both, right? Because in our life, yeah, there are many things actually require our willpower, including maybe you do something in work. It also costs some willpower when we choose
Yeah,
something.
sure. Even you start a habit, you need to spend your willpower. Yeah,
Mm.
at the
Yeah.
early stage. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also uh, even though the habit has been formed, you still you still require some willpower.
Mm.
Maybe little to do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, yeah, we can understand about the willpower, about self-controlling ability, and
Mm.
how can we how can we use it well? How can we like spend little and get more? Yeah, spend less and get more. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
But I'm not sure whether we can really increase our willpower. I mean,
Mm.
in the total, I really not sure
Mm.
because mm, okay. The first is I actually get some knowledge from somewhere which
Yeah.
told me that our willpower is kind of like fixed. Yeah, you can improve, you can increase, but there's not much room you can improve, you can increase. So it is like largely based on the gene. Yeah.
Mm.
And this is the first one, but I'm not sure. The second is I'm not sure whether this information is correct or not. Yeah. And The third point is you don't need the willpower. You don't need a high self-controlling ability to become happier, to become more successful. And
Yeah.
you don't need that.
Yeah. And also for me, I read the book until like 60 pages. I still think the focus on willpower isn't that powerful than forming habits until today.
Uh, Actually, you will if you finish if you finish the whole book, you will find that actually there are many similar strategies you can find in the book, the self-controlling ability, and also uh, in Atomic Habits. For example, the 2-minute rules. For example, uh, if you want to if you think you want to start to do a thing, just go for it, directly do it. If you keep struggling, if you keep doing the battle in your mind, whether
Yeah.
to do it, whether or not to do it, it actually also will consume your self-controlling ability. So
Mm.
maybe you just directly go to do it, it will spend you lesser, willpower.
Mm.
Mm. And
Yeah.
after, and you can give you a rules. Yeah, you set a clock. You set an alarm. After 5 minutes, if I still don't want to if I don't want to continue do the thing, I can quit. Yeah, you
Mm.
give yourself the rules, so it actually reduce your stress. It re, when it reduces the stress to make the decisions to to do the thing, it actually uh will make you less resist to the thing you need to do.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are many techniques you can find which is quite similar. Mm.
Mm.
And also, for example, uh, maybe you do meditations so you can gain the awareness. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe uh, consume less sugar. Yeah. This also no in this book it actually say that you can consume more sugar.
Ah,
You can
yeah.
consume more sugar. So it actually can kind of like wake your brain. So it can increase a little bit willpower, but there's a drawback, which is if you keep consuming the same amount, and after sometimes you need to take a greater amount to get the
Mm.
same result.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is in the book, right?
Yeah, for this part, yeah, this is where I stopped somewhere. And my understanding is it says that even though blood sugar level increase after we take sugar, but in the long run, if we kind of uh, improve our blood sugar level in this way, it is not very practical, and also because our blood sugar level it isn't that simple things. It sometimes go up after we take sugar, but maybe after a few hours it will go down. So uh, uh, compared to a more stable blood sugar level and a very fluctuated blood sugar level, a more stable one is better than the fluctuating one.
Yeah, and how about the stable one, but at high level, stable at high level, stable at high level compared with stable at low level. Is there any
Um,
difference?
I think stable in high level will help more in terms of gaining willpower.
But if you got the diabetes,
Yeah.
you have the chronic disease,
Yep.
and so far we read about. I'm not sure whether we read that. I'm not sure our reading session and at that part of thought. But in my from the part that I read, diabetes actually kind of like a very biggest problem. It can cause many damage to your life, yeah,
Yeah.
to your living. It can
Mm.
actually hurt your living. Yeah.
Yep.
It can damage your brain cells. It can like damage your food, your body.
Yeah.
So it actually will make you feel pain. Yeah. And it may also reduce your memory. Yeah. Memory ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it may also cause you uh lose your visions. Yeah.
Yes. And
So
also related to many chronic diseases, for example, heart disease and our
yeah,
kidney functions.
yeah, and if you got the diabetes or all of these uh cardiovascular disease increase 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 the risk. Yeah, the risk of getting this cardiovascular disease increase by double digits
Wow.
percentage. Mm.
Mm.
So yeah, so if in the long run, I don't really think maintain a high maintain a high level blood sugar can really help you gain
Mm.
the willpower, because what you gain, you return back all to the chronic disease, which is
Yeah.
diabetes.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. And also, I think also that's why the book, first they talk about sugar is good in for willpower, but after that they also didn't encourage us to use this way to deal with willpower.
Mm.
Yeah, and what they actually suggest is uh, we take the healthy diet, which is follow the something like a triangle, a pyramid.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the topic for wake up early, and then anything to add in, and I will.
No.
Oh, okay. So I go to the next one. Yeah, the
Mm.
next one is about the tarot, the yesterday topic. And yeah, for here, I think I make a conclusion based on my clearer opinion on this. Okay, for tarot, it cannot help us to solve problem efficiently. And then what it helps is to reduce our stress, fear, and some negative emotions. Yeah, this
Really,
is the
really, it can be really it helps to reduce, or it actually it helps to increase.
okay. Yeah, I think for this part, yeah, most of the time, I think it is a yes. And later on, I would like to talk about that. Actually, all these things, what tarot help and also what fortune telling help, they are just temporarily. Yeah. For tarot, if you go to a person, they will kind of they are the specialist in tarot. I believe that they will try to help you in a good way. Um, uh, and then not all, of course, but most of them. And then uh, they will more or less help us to deal with our negative emotions, depending on their skill, how skillful they are, and then try to help us to deal with the problems in our mind. Yeah, I think this is uh, the biggest part of tarot, and also why it is still popular even after so many years uh, of its origin. Because it deals with emotion, and this is a big part. And then for fortune telling is also the same. Fortune telling tarot, they kind of give us some hopes, and then maybe help us to form beliefs and something like that. And so that in the short term, or after we take the tarot, after we go to the fortune teller, we may feel like maybe we are more confident, or what, we have more hope, we are more hopeful, something like that. But to me, I think those uh, either these two ways is temporarily. The effect is temporarily, and for this one, I add in one example. which is one of my friend. He actually he used to believe, actually not used to, until now he still believe. He believed fortune telling, and then he used to pay a big amount of money to go to the fortune teller, which is quite popular in Malaysia, and then yeah, kind of asking something and predict something in the future in his life, to ask about his destiny, something like that. And after a few years, my friend actually got a big disease and go to the surgery, and that surgery nearly took his life. And then after that, um, one day, after he recovered, and we go out and have a drink, and then he actually complained. He actually feel annoyed, and then he grumbled about the fortune teller for not telling him uh, uh, the for not telling him this so-called disaster, or bad things in his life, because he believed that fortune teller must have seen these kind of big things in his life. So he actually feel annoyed. He complained, and he also uh, uh, grumble with his fortune teller, and then kind of blaming him, not telling him, and not being able to predict that things. And then after that, my friend didn't believe in this fortune teller, and I thought at that time, I thought, yeah, he didn't believe in fortune telling anymore. But after that, he actually go to another fortune teller, and then not only that, he also go for tarot. Yeah, go for tarot, and then yeah. So I think to me, before he got the disease, fortune teller actually give him maybe some motivation, and also deal with some emotion part. He feel quite good before that, but when the reality isn't that uh, smooth, and isn't in the prediction or something like that, go kind of go the opposite direction of the prediction, and then it actually caused even bigger negative effect, negative emotion problems to us. So I think this is something temporary. And then right now, he go for another fortune teller and go for tarot. To me, I think in long term it is not a good thing, and I believe that maybe after a few years he will suffer the same things again if he still uh, uh, if he still relies so much on fortune teller, tarot in his life. And then yeah, uh, again, I would like to mention we need to be the master of our own destiny.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the few of the question about your
Mm.
this friend,
Yeah.
uh, is he uh is he a hard working type person? Is the first one, and second, uh, is he really believe in something he's doing? This is the second question. Is he really believe in himself? Yeah, and the third question is, do he have something which is to have sorry let me rephrase, uh does he passionate on something?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, if all these if all these three things, the answer is positive, then he he he's more likely to get success. Yeah, so no matter he go for tarot or not,
Mm.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
Yeah,
means that tarot and fortune teller isn't the factor to our success, right?
yeah, of course.
Mm. Yeah,
This,
and in some circumstances it didn't help, but it actually uh uh, bring us to bring us to a, a not so good situation, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, because you 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 go to them because you want to understand, and and you don't want to work hard. You want to get something from for free,
Mm.
like the God give you. Mm. You want to understand whether God has give you something or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't need to work so hard. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, and also to me, I feel like the fortune teller of him um uh kind of doing something that okay because according to him, he tell me that the fortune teller tell him in after after 10 years, and then within these 15 years, it is something like he will experience the the peak of his life, and then he will get success in his career, something like that. And the fortune tellers tell him that don't forget to kind of reward him after he gets success. So to me, it is like the fortune teller is kind of smart because he know that this person already believe in him, and he can say something like that, and the success of him actually not depend on what he told him. Yeah, it
mm,
depends on chance. If this guy really succeed, and then he can get the reward. And if
yeah,
this guy didn't succeed, maybe he will try to uh, give some excuse, and maybe give some more suggestion, ask him to do, and maybe wait for another 5 years, something like that.
yeah. And you know the fortune telling, this is an industry not aimed for multiple shot game. So this is a one shot game based on the game theory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they 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 aim for one shot. Yeah. And because they know, uh because they really don't know whether this guy will come back in next time. They don't
Mm.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. And then yeah, also I would like to link this to a little bit to Stockdale paradox, and I
Okay.
yeah.
Before that, I want to say something.
Mm.
Just now you talk about the positive side of this fortune telling, but actually I have some different idea. Yeah, you say yeah, you're right. Fortune telling may exploit our placebo effect and let me feel better, let me
Mm.
feel good.
Yeah.
But is there any alternative? Why not
Mm.
you go to a real therapist? You
Yeah.
go to a counselor. You go for counseling.
Yeah.
You
Go
go
to
look
the
for
psychologist.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is the way to help you and try to imagine. Uh, yeah, last time you say you actually go for counseling before, and
Mm.
what if
Yeah.
you not go for counseling, you go for fortune telling, and the fortune teller tell you yeah, uh, you can you should work as a teacher, so you follow the advice and you work as a teacher. And compare to you compare to your current life, you go to counseling, and
Yeah.
then after you understand uh what thing you don't want and what thing you could try, and
Mm.
then your business partner come to you
Yeah.
and work as a teacher, and this is based on your decisions. Which one
Mm.
is better?
To me, I think even at that time, if fortune teller or tarot help me, I don't think it is a good thing because
Mm,
once these kind of things help you once, and then you actually believe in it.
yeah.
And once you get belief in it, and it kind of ruin your whole life because you firstly you don't believe, and you don't jump into the trap, and then if one time maybe based on chances, yeah, they do help you, and yeah, I think that is not a good thing. Just like a gamble, if he won uh, a a certain amount of money, let's say a big shot like 100K or something else, it
Mm,
is not a good thing to him because in his life, uh, the reward is actually recorded in his brain, and he actually fall deeper in this addiction. He couldn't get out from gamble anymore in his life.
Yeah. And how about if this is an expert gambler? He really know to control the risk and reward. Yeah, because yeah, I think I think you definitely know gamble. Not every gamble, not every gamble is a loser. Some of gamble is a long-term winner because they understand the risk, they understand the reward, and they will try to avoid those game purely uh purely depend on the luck, purely depend on the uh possibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll go for some other games, for example poker, for example the mahjong, yeah,
Yeah.
mahjong. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they can leverage their skill, they can exploit. Yeah, they are still a gambler, but they are an expert. They can make money in long term.
Yeah.
Just like the trader, just like the investor. Some investor is just a loser. Their their situation is not better than the gambler. And yeah, so it actually go back to the point I want to mention.
Yeah.
If you really have the skill, but fortune telling really matter to your life.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't depend on that. And if we depend on that, yeah, it may link to Stockdale paradox, which I remember that you also mentioned this that day, right? And these few days. I think this is yeah, really important when we're talking about belief. When we're talking about belief, Stockdale paradox is something that we couldn't ignore. We couldn't take. We must take into account Stockdale paradox. And then yeah, just to repeat one more time from the Stockdale paradox, we need on the one hand to have the strong faith that we can and we will win in the end. And at the same time, we need the discipline to confront the facts, which is brutal. And then yeah, we need to look into the fact. We need to face it at the same time. So to me, I think having some belief isn't a bad thing uh, if we talk about short term. And then also, for example, a few days ago we had the video review, which is by Jim Quick, yeah, and then the model of Be Quick, and the first one is belief. So I think many things when we talk about belief, when we talk about some things that motivate us, from us a belief, we also need to consider Stockdale paradox, and we need to know that many of our belief, if we don't look into uh, the fact, if we don't consider the fact, and then they will only be short term, just like the tarot, just like the fortune telling. And yeah, so I think taking into account Stockdale paradox is one thing, and on the other hand, what we can do is before all these short term things expired, we may try to form a habit. We may try to enjoy the process. We may try to enjoy also the progress when doing something. And yeah, this is one part. And then um,
Yeah, about the
yeah,
Stockdale paradox, and those guys, like the Jim Quicks or the James Stockdales, they not only believe they can achieve, they can do, they not only believe they can become the person they wish
yeah,
to become, that they have faith to become. They also believe this this event, this big event will become my story. This will this will make me, this event will make me become more me. and in future after I overcome it, it become my story. Yeah, so this is one of the meaning of my life. Yeah, yeah. So if you try to think from this way, sorry, before that, I think I actually make the point, in the past conversation, right? And I compare which one has the stronger belief. Yeah, of course, is the person who who really believe they can do it, they can become the type person, and also they believe this big event will form their life, will become, after overcome this event, this will become one of their life story. Yeah, this is one of their life meaning. Yeah. So how about for the telling? If you follow the advice from a fortune teller, you really believe in that. Yeah, you have strong belief.
Yeah.
You believe you can do it. You believe you believe you can become the type of person that fortune teller tell you. Yeah. And how about the story? Once, after you overcome it, after you get success, how do you explain your story to other people? Oh, easy. You go to the same fortune teller and they'll tell you your life story. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you compare the belief, they are not the same belief. Yeah. They are not the same type of belief.
Yeah.
So what's your part two?
Oh, yeah, the part two is it's actually something uh different. Yeah, I think this should be some of other thinkings which is related to other topics already. Um, I think I make it quick because the time is already 7:30, and this is my thinking about setting goal. And then also we have one topic which is the something like the action plan, and then we have the deadline, something like that. And then yeah, I think for this one we need to try to set our goals. Uh, the goals need to be something we can control and we can achieve, instead of something that we couldn't control and hard to control. For example, if we want to set a goal that I want to earn how much uh, before let's say before I was before I turn into 30. Yeah, this kind of goal isn't uh, it kind of not in our control. If everybody can control how much they earn, then uh, uh, everybody already become rich. And but what we can control is something like uh, we can we can set a goal like I need to start managing my money. I need to start doing my budgets in my life before a particular time. And then for this kind of goal, uh, yeah, I think is totally achievable and can be controlled, because we don't have to um, get a particular result. We just need to ensure that we do these things, and we don't depend on the result, whether it's success or it didn't success.
Yeah.
We at least we do it. Yeah. So I think this kind of goal is more suitable, and then which is uh, uh, within our control, and we won't like being beaten by our emotions for not achieving something.
Yeah. But would it become another extreme? Remember the opposite of crazy is still crazy.
Mm,
The people who focus about the goal, the targets, just a single number, for example, 1
mm,
million before 35 years old, they'll
yeah.
just focus about the number. And when they think they are not able to get a number, they'll take more risk. They'll go gambling.
Mm,
Yeah. Even though they in investing you can become a gambler. Yeah.
yeah.
So this is not good. But how about another extreme? Yeah, you say you do all your things. You do money management, you save money, you
Mm,
save every single cent you are able to save. You earn every single cent you are able to earn. But how about your target? How about the number? Maybe you also can have the number, but you don't need to so care about whether achieve or not achieve the number. Just like I shared you before, when I was in college, I say that I want to get AAA star. I really believe and I also want to achieve the AAA star. Yeah. But does it matter if I didn't get it? No, it doesn't matter. But what if I say, yeah, I want to study hard. I want to study hard. Yeah, I will study. Yeah, I form a very well action plan. I will spend like 2 hours per day. I will spend 2 hours each day to study. Yeah, I manage well. I make a studying schedule, but I actually don't have a target. I don't have a target. Is it really good? Not really.
Yeah, this is the other extreme, right? The other opposite extreme.
Yeah, and also sometimes if you talk about like the let give you another example. You want to form a business, you want to start a business, and you say, yeah, I focus on something that I control. But how about something that you couldn't control? Something that couldn't control doesn't mean that something that couldn't manage, something that couldn't measure, something that couldn't calculate. For example, you can calculate how much money you need to save in order to save up to 1 million each year. How much you need to save, or maybe you want to do a business, and you want to get a profit, net profit after tax or before tax, 3,000 per month, so 36,000 per year. And so, how many students you need to teach? How much price you need to charge each of them? Let's say if you charge, let's say for example, if you charge 100 per month. So if you charge 100 per month, so do a quick calculations. So 100 times 12 months. So each year, you can earn 1,200 from one student. So if you use 36,000 divided by 1,200, so you need to teach 30 students per month. You need to teach 30 students, and each of them need to pay you 100 ringgit, and no bad debt. You couldn't have bad debt. If you take consideration of bad debt or doubtful debt, yeah, provision of doubtful debt that we learned in accounting, you need to add up 5% or 10%. So maybe you need to teach 33 students, and it need to be sustained. Yeah, so that you can earn 36,000 per year or 3,000 per month. Yeah. So this is something that we can calculate. Yeah, we get the number, we get the target, and then we start to calculate to see whether this is a good, whether this is a is it something achievable, and can I adjust? Can I adjust my strategy? Can I adjust my direction and make it achievable? Yeah. So, yeah, something that you cannot manage, but something that you couldn't control doesn't mean something that couldn't measure, couldn't calculate, couldn't manage.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else want to add in?
Yeah, I think yeah, for this part, it also deal with the code you mentioned today, right, at the beginning. Yeah, so it is something that not only the words, yeah, it can only apply in so many ways. All right, so I think I finished my talking today.
Okay, so that's all for our today conversation. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.